Trump sat alone in his luxurious office on the upper floors of one of his skyscrapers in New York. His mind was as busy as ever. Just a few days ago, he had made headlines with an event that shook the financial world and was called one of the biggest scandals in American history. However, as usual, Trump was unaffected. He was a man who knew how to turn any situation to his advantage. What mattered was the next big deal, the next move. At that moment, he received a message. The sender was Howard Lutnick, the newly appointed U.S. Secretary of Commerce, known for his bold moves. Trump quickly opened the message. "Mr. Trump, I have something very important to share with you. It's about a fortune lost centuries ago and the powerful people behind it. I must meet with you alone as soon as possible." Trump read the message twice, carefully considering each word to decipher its meaning. His years of experience had alerted him to the signs of a major event approaching. In these moments, he knew exactly what to do. Without a second thought, without hesitation, he replied. He felt a confidence that this would ultimately work in his favor. "I'm ready, Howard. We can meet any time." A few days later, Trump headed to Washington, D.C., with only one thought in his mind. Could Lutnick's words be true? Though it was hard to believe that everything was hiding such a great secret, his years of experience told him otherwise. An inner feeling told him that this was much bigger than a simple matter of wealth. There was a deeper meaning behind it all. Perhaps they were chasing a power that could change the course of human history. The meeting in Washington was filled with excitement. The silence in the rooms of the old mansion only heightened the growing curiosity inside Trump. Lutnick, pointing at maps spread across a large table in the middle of the room, began to speak. "Mr. Trump, we've been investigating this fortune for years, but things have never been this clear. This is not just a financial matter. It's a power that will shape the way the world is governed. This must not be controlled just by us, but by the entire world." Trump remained silent for a moment, carefully studying the maps on the table. "Yes, you're right. Wealth and power, if properly acquired, can create changes across the globe." Lutnick's eyes glimmered with hope as he looked at Trump. "This is the crucial part. This fortune should be used to make the world a better place. But for that, we must act together. A great agreement needs to be made with world leaders on this issue." For the next few weeks, Trump and Lutnick held secret meetings across the globe to uncover the lost gold and mysterious fortune. They formed partnerships with many countries' leaders to ensure that the wealth and power were controlled by the right hands. But things weren't as simple as they seemed. Many hidden powers and influential figures from the past became uneasy about the discovery of the fortune. They too wanted to seize this treasure. One night, Trump received a chilling message on his phone. "If you seize this fortune, the world order will change. But that's when things will spiral out of control. Make sure the powerful men are watching you." Trump hesitated for a moment. This didn't seem like an ordinary threat. But he had grown accustomed to such games over the years and regarded this as just another move in the game. He had a strong sense that something bigger was at play. In time, they decided to take action for the fortune. However, the location of the gold was so important and dangerous that it could only be protected by a powerful military operation. After pinpointing its location, they realized that the gold was more than just a treasure. It represented a much larger threat that could shake the world. For around this treasure, there was a long-forgotten power that only a select group of elites and some of the most powerful and dangerous people in the world were aware of. The site of the gold was located in a region constantly under surveillance by adversaries, a place that could be attacked at any moment. Trump and Lutnick, after deciding to protect the treasure, realized that this task was much more complex and dangerous than merely guarding a fortune. The gold held not only material value, but also power that could change the global order. Therefore, ordinary security measures wouldn't be enough, and international military coordination would be required. Trump mobilized global forces and assigned elite special forces from various countries to safeguard the treasure. The most skilled and experienced special forces from the U.S. began preparing to be deployed to the region, while support from other countries was organized at the same pace. Through diplomatic talks and secret agreements, this global coalition of forces was formed. When they all gathered, their goal was not only to protect the gold, but also to neutralize any potential threats surrounding it. When the Allied forces began to move toward the treasure's location, they knew that everything could turn upside down at any moment. The natural challenges in the region made it clear how difficult it would be to access. But the threats were not only limited to environmental conditions. They faced enemy groups who sought to use the treasure for their own interests. These groups were well prepared and willing to use any means necessary to seize the fortune. However, Trump and Lutnick were ready for anything. The international support they had gathered was considered their greatest insurance against any counterattack. Eventually, the operation was completed, and the treasure was safely secured. But this was just the first step. To direct the true power of the gold and manage the balance of power that would emerge from it, they needed a much larger strategy. This would not be a process managed only by warriors, but also through diplomacy, politics, and leadership on a global scale. Even though Trump and Lutnick had successfully completed the mission, they were fully aware of the great responsibility they now carried. Trump began to realize that this treasure could be more than just a source of wealth. It could be a beacon of hope for humanity. Therefore, he decided to distribute the gold in a way that would benefit people in need around the world. Lutnick knew that such a decision would make waves across the globe. Trump's vision became clearer with each passing day. This fortune should not just be about money and power, but should serve as a hope for war victims, orphans, and refugees. Every piece of gold represented an opportunity to change lives. Trump, working through the international banking system, directed a portion of the fortune to aid the world's most needy regions. Together with Lutnick, they created funds to support war victims, starving children, and people affected by natural disasters. This treasure was not just a new source of wealth, it also provided an opportunity for the homeless, the sick, and those who wanted to make a difference in the world. However, this process also brought great danger. Secret powers and dark leaders who wanted to control the treasure began to pursue Trump and Lutnick. One night, Trump's security team was attacked. This made them realize that they were not just taking another step, they were becoming part of something extraordinary. Still, Trump didn't back down. For him, this treasure was a tremendous opportunity for humanity. This opportunity could unite people across the world, not just through wealth, but through a shared purpose for the right cause. Trump and Lutnick embarked on a journey more dangerous than anything they had ever encountered. But in the end, the real winner was humanity. With every obstacle and threat they faced, they grew stronger. For them, this was not just about controlling a fortune. It was a mission to change the course of human history. The mystery of the gold and the power behind it only deepened, but Trump and Lutnick's determination was strong enough to stand up to the dark forces around the world. Wealth should not remain in the hands of a few elites. It should be used for the benefit of all. After the gold was distributed, Trump realized that this wealth had the power to change every person's life. It wasn't just its material value, but the immense responsibility attached to it that he truly felt. The gold had become more than just a financial resource. It had turned into a beacon of hope, and a tool for a better future. It had the potential to make a real difference in people's lives. Each piece of treasure was not only a symbol of wealth, but also a light of life for the victims, those in need, and those living in despair. Trump began to see this wealth not just as a resource, but as an opportunity to address global inequalities and strengthen the pursuit of justice. For him, this treasure was about offering hope, dignity, and opportunity to people around the world. He was no longer just a businessman. He had become a leader, making a historical impact. True power, he said one day, is the ability to change people's lives. For him, this was not just about wealth. It was a responsibility. Power, wealth, and treasure took on meaning only in the hands of those who could change the world. In the end, Trump and Lutnick went down in American history not only as giants of the business world, but as leaders who took a bold step for humanity. They showed the world that power, when shared, gained a much greater meaning. And their story went down in history not just as a tale of wealth, but as a source of hope for humanity. If you enjoyed this story, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more content.